All right. And we are going live right about now. The Funk Soul Brother. Check it out now. The Funk Soul Brother. Welcome, welcome, welcome. My name is Austin Hamilton, also known as the Porn Coach, the Coach of Porn, Dark Mark. Welcome, welcome. We're doing two in one day. How about that? Back at it again. You know, I intended to go live at 1 p.m. today, my time, and that didn't happen. Oh, I gotta get my music on. It didn't happen, so I felt like I shortchanged myself and all my wonderful guests. So here we are again. TikTok live sesh. Got the music. Got all that stuff. Just got off work. Dang. What time do you start? Go live on the Instagram. Time for your second job, what? Moderating my live? I appreciate you. 3. Oh, okay, 3. That's late. Alan, what's up, man? How's it going? Good to see you again. Welcome back. Thanks for sharing the other day. Is porn cheating? That is my question of the night. Maybe someday we'll have other questions, but for now, this is a pretty good darn question, if I have to say so myself. So if you want to come share your story, ask a question, debate, give an opinion about this prompt, is porn cheating? We're here for it. I believe, my opinion, is that if you're in a committed monogamous relationship and you say something like, I'm committed to you and only you, mind, body, and soul, till death do us part, and if you deviate from that, whether it's using a person on a screen or otherwise, I think that's a betrayal and therefore cheating. I don't claim to be right. That's just my opinion. So what's your opinion? Going well, thanks. You're welcome. Glad to see us live. All right, Alan. Amen. Can I get an amen? Can I get an amen? Yes, and sadly, you know, a lot of guys struggle with this. A lot of guys do struggle with this. So do a lot of women. What's a corn coach? Great question, Thomas. A corn coach is a coach who helps men dealing with unwanted sexual behavior, such as porn or sex addiction or infidelity, and or helps women who are dealing with betrayal trauma. That's the trauma that one experiences after they discover a betrayal in the relationship. What if you're not married? Well, then I guess technically it wouldn't be cheating. How do you recommend getting over betrayal? I recommend you go to the link in my bio and sign up for one of my betrayal trauma support groups for women. It's a great community, great place to be in community with others going through the same thing. And I recommend reading this book called The Betrayal Bind. That'll certainly put you on the right path, but healing in community is where it's at. All right, let's take a guest here. The Speaking Muslim. As opposed
Hey there,
to...
how are you today?
Good. Is this like the opposite of the mute Muslim?
Exactly, yeah. I'm actually willing to come on here and as a Muslim speak to people about various topics, including yours.
All right,
So
great.
I would say that, yeah, I would say it's cheating in a couple different ways. Like if you're in a romantic relationship with someone, it could definitely be cheating because you're seeking to, fulfill one's desires and sexual urges through essentially depictions, objectification. And I think that it leads to some mental health issues. And I don't think it's the healthiest thing to do. Also, if you're a person of faith, I think anybody who's in the Judeo-Christian faiths would agree, hopefully, that it's also I think it's unholy, and I think that it's not befitting for a person who wants to get close and have a relationship with God, and that they should try to avoid these things if possible. And if they need help, definitely reach out, get some help, because it's not, morally correct. I think not according to New Testament teachings anyways. And so, I would encourage people to avoid, these vices if they can, because there is we have an epidemic, unfortunately, when it comes to this thing.
Yeah, for sure. Do you watch porn?
No, I do not. I actually work as a family law lawyer, so this is a big problem in California family law for a lot of couples. A lot of couples complain actually about their partners watching pornography. That's one of the vices that I hear about that's destroying marriages regularly.
Yeah, for sure.
That's why I decided to come on here and come on.
Yeah,
so I have personal experience. I mean, through my job, I should say.
Yeah, in the eyes of the law, at least in the U.S., would pornography be treated as infidelity?
So in California, it's a no-fault divorce state, so they don't really look at who's at fault. But when people come to me and they talk about their irreconcilable differences, drugs and porn are usually on that list of things that men start doing that like really push women towards divorce. I don't hear about a lot of women with addictions to porn, but a lot of women tend to complain to me about their husbands being addicted to porn or trying to watch porn in front of them. And it's like the women are just not into it, and it's after a while they'll be patient, but after a while it wears them down and they eventually file for divorce.
Yeah, for sure. Do you know who James Sexton is? The
I
divorce
don't.
lawyer?
Oh no, I've never encountered him. I'm in San Joaquin County mostly, but sometimes I'm in Stanislaus and in the Bay Area, so I'm not sure what area he's in.
Yeah, got it. Sorry, this is a fascinating interview.
No, go ahead. Yeah, take your time.
Oh, no, I found
I'm driving
it.
home, so you're good.
Yeah, no, it's this guy who claims to be kind of like the divorce lawyer. He represents like ultra high net worth individuals in their divorces, and he did a fascinating interview on the Diary of a CEO, which was a pretty popular podcast, 7 million subscribers on YouTube.
Wow.
It's great. Yeah, I'd love to send it to you. If you want to DM me, I'll shoot
you.
Yeah,
DM me if you don't mind.
Well, you
I
DM
can
me
if you don't. I can definitely pull over.
When I'm on live, I can't DM.
I understand.
If you DM me, I'll shoot it back. Yeah.
Yeah, I will. In fact, maybe like give me 25 minutes and I'll DM you, in fact.
Yeah, no problem. All right, man. Well, thanks for sharing.
Yeah. Thank you for having me, and I will follow you as well. Have a great day.
All right, man. Sounds good. You too. See ya. Who's the person who said that they're a Christian and they disagree? I commented back at you. I'd love for you to come on here and chat. Sean Lindauer, you said, I'm Christian and I do not agree with this guy. I'd love to chat. Ciao, ciao. Hey there, what's going on?
Is porn cheating? In a sense, yeah, it can be.
Okay, tell me more.
Come on. Oh, there we go. Can you hear me?
I can hear you, yeah, what's up?
Hey, is porn cheating? In a sense, it can be, yeah. I mean, if the husband or wife, depending who watches it, if they start lusting over that particular model that's doing the pornographic stuff or porn stuff, and they're married, in a sense, yes, it is. Because God put you both together in life so you can love one another, not love someone else like that.
Okay. Do you watch porn?
No, not anymore. Okay. I used to be addicted. I'm single, but I was addicted to it and stuff. So, but not anymore.
Mm-hmm. All right. So you're single and you chose not to watch porn because you were addicted. What were the impacts it had on your life when you were watching it?
It really messed me up in my mind. Like, well, back when I was really addicted to it, I would only view women as like sexual objects and not really respect them. Well, I would respect them, but more just view them as sexually than really as a human being. Like like a normal human being like you and I. If that makes
Yeah.
sense. And then it also really separated me from God, and I had gotten kind of bad relationships in a way as well, because the only thing I wanted was sex from them, and didn't really, really, it wasn't like a really good peer relationship, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like there's much more to a relationship than sex, right?
Yeah, but when you watch porn and then when you get addicted to it, it really messes up your mind thinking. It really and everything. It clouds you, your judgment, how you view upon people, how you view things, think about things.
Yeah.
It's like poison. It's like you taking acid or poison. You take it once, oh, this is good, but you keep doing it over and over and over. Eventually, you will have repercussions in your life.
Yeah. Totally. How old are you, man?
I am 35, turning 35.
Okay. Good for you, man.
I appreciate it.
Oh, that guy DM me. Sweet. I'm gonna send him this podcast. I don't know if you're on here still. All right, man. Well, thanks for sharing.
No worries. God bless you.
All right, man. You too. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Let me join. I love when people beg to join. Just kidding. Don't love that. Hey there. What's going on?
Hey, I don't know why, I'm getting these weird, like, well, not weird, but these debates or whatever, this whole night. Anyway, it's just crazy. Anyway, I
Okay.
don't know how you got on my For You page, but I feel like whenever I was younger, I used to think it was cheating. Like my early, or I guess my teen years, and my early 20s, I thought it was cheating. But now that I'm older, I don't see the cheating in it. And I feel like a lot of women that do feel like porn is cheating um, have insecurities.
Okay. When you were younger, what were the reasons why you did think it was cheating?
Probably because I was insecure. Teenage girl, and you think well, I guess me, for my instance, I was with this person for 4 years, and I thought maybe I just wasn't enough. I think but we got to that, I was 15, ended up breaking up in 21 just because he was a cheater. But whenever he was looking at porn, I felt insecure because I felt like maybe I just wasn't doing it for him. But I think, I don't know, late 20s, I just well, I don't know, I guess just something that guys do. Some women, I guess, watch. I don't really find any pleasure in that, but as I've gotten older, I just realized it's really not about the emotional part. It's just a physical need guys have sometimes.
It's a physical need for guys to masturbate while watching other people have sex.
Yeah, I feel like that's just
while they're in a
that's
relationship.
most men. Yeah.
Okay. So
because I feel
all right.
like men could be in a relationship and watch porn and it not affect them emotionally.
Okay. So help me understand. So when you were insecure, you didn't like the fact that your partner was watching porn or masturbating, watching other people have sex. But now that you're so secure, you're okay with your partner getting aroused by another woman and masturbating while watching her have sex. And to you, that's an indication that you are more secure?
Yeah, probably. And so I'm married now, and there's times whenever my husband is just in the mood for sex, and I'm not, I'm just go take care of yourself in the bathroom. I'm good tonight. It's just
What do you think he watches when he goes to the bathroom?
Oh, I don't know. Whatever he feels like looking up that day.
Do you think it's women?
Yeah, absolutely.
With other men?
Oh, I don't know. I don't really like see, that's another thing too. Is like I feel like whenever I was younger, I was like so into it. I was like I was going through like what is he looking at and why is it what kind of women is he into? It doesn't even bother me now. I don't even bother to check.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So it doesn't bother you that he gets aroused by looking at other women having sex?
No.
So, and you said you're married. So what's the agreement that you guys have in your relationship? What's the commitment?
I mean, we're not out doing other people, you know. I think maybe I want to say we've been together for a while, so I think at one point I think he was on this one that was called like Chatterbait or whatever. And I think it was like live. I don't think I appreciated that, but it really hasn't been an issue. It's been years since it's been like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and those sites are also a place for people to expose themselves. But back to the question:
Yeah.
what's the agreement you guys have in your marriage? What's the commitment you guys made to one another?
I mean, we're not messing around with other people, but we've, chose to do life together. Um, I mean, really, like marriage is just like it's really just a piece of paper, like that we're like married. I mean, but you can also have the same type of relationship with somebody you're not married with. But we just
Okay,
chose to
so
do life together, and we don't do other people. Um, and if I'm not in the mood to like have sex with my husband that night, I'm not offended that he goes to watch porn if he does.
so the commitment in your relationship is that you don't fool around with other people.
Yes.
Okay. And but if he fools around, if there's somebody on a screen and he's fooling around with himself, that to you that doesn't violate your agreement.
No, because you're not touching.
Okay. Okay. What about a strip club? Would that go against your commitment?
Mm, I don't think so. I haven't. He hasn't been to a strip club that I know of. Since we've been together. Not saying that he hasn't. I just don't know how I feel about it because I haven't been in that situation. But I would think that I wouldn't have a problem with it if he wasn't touching. Because what's the difference between a screen and somebody in front of you? Now, if it
So
was
at a
like
strip club,
somebody,
if there's a dancer, you know, right there but not touching, you'd be fine with that?
like a lap dance,
Nope. Like some part of her is right here in his face but not touching. Like an inch away. To you,
no,
you'd still be like, no, it's still fine. But if it
I would
touches,
think so.
then
I would think
that's a
so.
problem.
I would think so, but I wouldn't know until it actually happened.
Okay.
I feel like, but what I would draw a line to
So for
is
you,
like,
it's like this: not cheating, cheating, not cheating, cheating.
yeah.
Is that how you view
I
it?
mean, I would feel like that's what I would how I would react. I mean, I would think, but I wouldn't know because it hasn't happened. And
Mm-hmm.
hopefully, I mean, I don't know. We'll see if it ever happens, but
Mm-hmm.
that's how I would think now. But I feel like where I would draw a line is like, say, if this was somebody like a coworker, and she just started stripping in front of him. That's somebody that he sees every day. That's somebody that he communicates with every
Well, but
day. Like it's
hold on.
not
But you said touching. You said as long as he's not touching.
right, right. But
Are you
it's
changing it
different
now?
whenever you. No. Well, yeah, yes. Well,
Okay. I don't
yes.
care. I'm just
Okay.
curious.
Yeah. So
You're all over the
I think
place.
the difference. You're good. Um, the difference that I would say that even if it's not touching would be cheating is if there was like an emotional part to it.
Okay. Tell me more.
So, like I said, say if he had a coworker and they were somewhere off and she was like stripping in front of him, and this was somebody that he worked with every day, he saw this person. I would absolutely believe that that was cheating because then it comes from now you know this person, you know this person on a personal level.
Okay. All right. Do you think there's emotion involved when someone watches porn?
I mean, I think that there could be, but normally probably not. Like, I mean, unless, if you have like your favorite person, but it's like you actually know them if they're online, unless you're like chatting each other up outside of sex or watching them have sex or whatever it was.
Okay. So you think maybe it's not just touching, but if there's an emotional connection and you're not like definitive about whether or not porn involves emotions.
Right. So I feel like when most men go to look at porn, it's not necessarily because they're like, oh, like I have an emotional connection with this girl and, I need somebody else other than whoever I'm with. Most of the time, I feel like it's just, you get one out. I'm not saying that there can't be. Of course, somebody can like hit up somebody that works in that type of industry and then like create a relationship. But I mean, a relationship to me is defined as, somebody that you are confiding in, that's your person, that's your go-to, that's somebody you build a relationship with, and then there's physical aspects to that. But if you take away all the personal aspects to it, and it's just for one reason only, just to watch, then I don't see it as cheating.
So just to watch and not masturbating?
I mean, just to watch and, get whatever your needs are, and that's it.
So
like
to watch and masturbate. Well, I'm wondering, like, why would there be a connection there? Like, why not just stare at a wall and masturbate if there's no emotion involved?
I don't know how to answer that question. I mean, a wall isn't like appealing to somebody. I mean, I guess it could be, but I mean, normally somebody's not like, oh my God, a wall, and then they do whatever they do,
Mm-hmm. So maybe there's an emotional connection between the person and what they're watching on the screen.
No, I don't think it's emotions. To me, what I define as emotion is like something you have to do, or I don't know, like somebody had suggested earlier, maybe somebody that was like addicted to it. I think maybe that becomes a problem, but I don't think people watch porn for an emotional connection.
Okay. Did you know that 60% of the time men view high-priced escorts, nothing physical happens?
Wait, what was that?
60% of the time men view high-priced escorts or prostitutes, nothing physical happens.
That's interesting. I didn't know that.
It's all about the emotional connection they're seeking. And I think the same is true for porn. They're trying to fill a void, typically in their heart, due to loneliness or other things. But
I guess I just don't see it that way. Or, but I mean, that's not to say that everybody is. I mean, I'm not saying that it's not going to happen. I mean, people sometimes feel like they have a connection with other people, but like majority of the times it's probably just for a physical, like just for one reason only, and then that's it.
Yeah. All right. Well, thanks for sharing.
Yeah.
All right. Bye-bye. California Mary. Hi there. What's going on?
I wanted to know, what is your position? Is that what, are you saying porn is cheating, or are you saying it's not?
I'm asking the question, is porn cheating? What do you think?
I think it is in a way. Yeah, it's cheating. I mean, I know when I had my husband and I would find him, looking at porn, it was always some totally bizarre, different thing than me. It was like it was Asian something, it always had some strange name on it. I didn't get in and look at what it was, but I mean, like, it was always Asian. So it just led me to believe, are you looking for someone Asian? Because I'm so not Asian. Like, so I was like, I'm not sure So I felt like it was cheating because it was like obviously some need you were feeling that I wouldn't or couldn't or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So I definitely think it's cheating, but I
Well,
do
it's
think
2024. Why can't you be Asian?
well, I'm sure.
See what I did there?
Yeah, there's a lot of ways to look at things, and that's what I was going to say. Just like the girl ahead of me, she says it's fine, it's fine. She didn't look at it like that, and I think as long as it's not causing any trouble, but I do think ultimately it can and will cause trouble. I left my husband because he had venereal disease, so I know that it clearly led him somewhere.
Did you ever figure out how he got that?
Well, I only found out from a letter from his doctor, and then I divorced him. So we never had a long conversation like what happened. He just was saying he was sorry. He kept saying he was sorry. He was sorry. I was like, but what is going on? Like what happened? But he wasn't going to talk about it.
You didn't even ask him?
Well, I mean, it was clear he didn't get it. He didn't get it from porn. I'm pretty sure.
No, I got that.
So I was pretty sure, he got it from cheating with another woman or another man. I don't know. Shit. It was just over to me. What he did and what I felt like he did was put me in danger. So he cheated and put me in danger. And because you put me in danger, that means you can't be married to me. I need my husband to keep me safe.
How long were you married?
We were married for, let me see, I want to say 6 years.
And you got a letter from, what's the regulation on that? I mean, why did the doctor send you a letter?
They didn't send it to me.
Oh, I thought you said the doctor sent you a letter.
It to me. No, they didn't send it to me. What happened was there was a stack of mail in our office, and he probably didn't even know it came. And
okay, so you opened the mail and you saw it.
Yes.
What if it was spam? I'm just kidding. So you got the letter, and then you just the name of his doctor. Yeah, you got the letter, and then you just left. You're like, we're divorced.
No, I told him if I could talk to him in a neutral place besides the house, and he knew something was up because he knew he was up to things. So he came home, immediately started packing his stuff. He knew that I somehow found out.
So you did? Oh yeah, because I asked earlier, why don't you talk to him about it? But you attempted to, but he wouldn't talk.
Yeah, right. He can't. I said I want to talk to you about, and then I told him I found this letter. Said he had these diseases, whatever, to continue taking the antibiotics. And he came home and packed his stuff and left.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Jeez. I should just start sending like canvassing neighborhoods saying like, somebody in this house has VD.
Well, I mean, it had it had the date of his doctor's visit. It had the date, you know what I mean? And he was sick about 3 weeks prior to me finding that letter. He was literally sick in his bed with a fever.
Yeah.
So it all started to line up. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, that's a
yeah, it was.
Sorry to hear that.
I mean, it's okay. It was all fine. But I'm just saying, like, he left. He left willingly, like a good man should. Because he knew he was out of line. He was out of pocket for that.
No. All right, well, you asked my opinion. I think if you're in a committed monogamous relationship and you've said something to another person like, I love you, only you, mind, body, and soul till death do us part, I think if you deviate from that, whether it's with somebody on a screen or otherwise, I think that goes against the agreement and therefore is cheating.
Yeah, so that's what I wanted to know. But you know what? Like, what about when they're in agreement, like the girl prior to me, like that still... You still think that's not okay? Like, you know how there's all kinds of weird agreements. Like you were asking her, what's your agreement? Because you know for a fact, people have different agreements.
Right. If your agreement is that you can use other people in the relationship, then it wouldn't be cheating. However,
Oh,
you're not in as monogamous of a relationship as you think you are, or as you claim to
no.
be. Right?
Right,
Monogamy
right.
is defined by a sexual relationship between two people. Doesn't
Right.
define whether those people are on a screen or not. So if you're
Right, but
if
it
you're
doesn't, but that's
if
not is that a mandatory thing for marriage?
is it is
I
monogamy a
mean, it is for
mandatory thing for
me.
marriage? I think it depends on the state, literally from a legal
Oh,
standpoint. And then I guess technically it would come down to your faith background, but I think generally accepted norms would say two people, but other people do other things.
yeah. Yeah, no, I definitely think marriage means two people, but I've seen so much in my, my years of life that I think almost anything goes these days. That's
Yeah.
why I thought it was interesting that you were asking, is porn cheating? Because, and you know how you were telling her about an emotional, I don't think there's anything emotional about it. I think that men need some kind of image to get them aroused, and then to take them there where they went or where they go. And I don't think it's emotional at all.
Do you think sex is emotional?
I think a lot. I think most times with women, yes, and sometimes with men. That's what I think.
Okay.
I would say most times with women. I'm only one woman, but I mean, I talk to lots of women, and we kind of have sometimes the same thoughts around it.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
men, and I've talked to men who do not have those same thoughts around it, and then I've talked to some that do. Some that want to be in your mind, body, and soul. Some just want to be in your body. So it's a very big difference, though. I mean, I feel like I've had out of body experiences with people that I was very, very in love and close to. And then I've had these like, not manual, what would be the word? Like just, what's the word I'm thinking of? Like, not methodical, just like kind of like, like riding a bike. You know how to do it, so you're doing it, and that's how it is. So I'm just saying, I do think that it definitely is emotional, and can be emotional, but I don't think it has to be.
Okay.
Do most people think it is or say it is that you have on your panels?
That doesn't come up very often. Sometimes it does, but I just think it's interesting. I mean, personally, I'm like, how is it not emotional? It's like the deepest, most intimate thing two people can do. It's very emotional.
I think sometimes, though, the person's not in it to win it, so it becomes this non-emotional, like physical thing, kind of like breathing, or whatever, tending to a wound, if you will. Like it's like just something you're doing, but then sometimes it's not. But I mean, you have to admit, like, I mean, you sound like a pretty deep individual. But not everybody's deep. And I'm sure you've encountered people that aren't so deep.
Yeah, I would say when my brain was fried from porn, I wasn't very deep, because I treated everything as sexual instead of physical, or instead of emotional, having an emotional component.
Yeah.
Which is it's a learned behavior to numb out emotions, which is what pornography use reinforces.
Yeah, I would agree. It definitely.
If that's what you're doing constantly, you're gonna yield that, right? You're not gonna have deep.
Right, you're not gonna have that emotion. Right.
Yeah.
Which is probably why I wasn't even having, interaction with my husband, because he wasn't emotional in it, because he was busy with the Chinese girl. And not that it had anything to do with that, but I mean, nothing to do with her race, but I'm just saying, just happened to be.
Yeah, the person who didn't represent you. Yeah.
Right, exactly. Yeah. But it's interesting, your panel, I mean, your live is an interesting topic. glad
Yeah.
to see
We'll
something
stick around.
different.
Stick around.
I'm glad to
We're
see
just getting
something
started.
different besides politics right now.
Yeah. Yeah. By the way, who are you voting for?
Oh God, do I have to? I'm voting for
No,
Kamala.
I'm just
I
kidding.
mean
Okay.
Kamala
All right.
Harris.
Thanks for sharing.
I generally vote Democrat, but you know, if there was some candidate on the Republican side, I'd probably go that way if there was one that was worth it.
Okay. All right. Well, this is not a political conversation, but thanks for sharing.
Sorry, I went.
I didn't expect you to actually answer that. All right.
I'm sorry. I get a little excited. Like I said, it's in the hype right now. It's But yeah. So what is your name, or what do we call you?
My name's
Host?
Austin. I go by Porn Coach, but you can call me Austin. Yeah. Give me a follow, okay?
Well, I'll see you around. I will.
All right.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Oh, she actually answered. Whatever. All right. Trump Girl 165 says that explains everything. Oh, that was great. Oh, that person wasn't on. Hey there, what's going on?
Hi, how are you?
I'm doing good, thanks. What's up?
Good. No, I just said I've been watching for a minute and I was wondering your stance on it, of course. So, do you consider it cheating? But then I heard what you just said about how you used to watch it. Were you addicted to it?
I watched porn for about 20 years, which also escalated into physical cheating on my wife. Still married to the same woman.
Got you.
Been married 13 years. But my stance, so to speak, is if you're in a committed monogamous relationship where you've made a commitment to one person and only one other person, if you deviate from that, that's cheating. So it depends on the agreement you made in the relationship, whether or not it's cheating.
Well, see, then how do you feel if the couple decides to watch it together?
I just said it.
Is that... Well, okay, so if that's their agreement, then it's okay.
Well, if that's their agreement, then it's not cheating.
Exactly.
I wouldn't say it's okay. It depends on what you mean by okay. It's proven to not be good for relationships or individuals from a scientific standpoint, what it does to the brain. So everybody gets to decide if that's okay for them or not, but it wouldn't be cheating if the agreement is it's okay to use other people for sexual pleasure while you're in a relationship.
How is that using other people, though? I mean, yes, it's watching other people, but sometimes I guess it depends on how. I had so much to say, and now that I'm here.
What are in the porn, when you're objectifying somebody else in porn, you're using them as a means to have a release.
And I understand that. See, now when you were just talking to her, saying that, and she was saying that her husband was watching people that don't look anything like her or anything like that. Well, if they watch people, I mean, I guess you're right. It's all about what the couple agrees on. So I guess it just depends how open somebody is and what you are accepted with.
No. All right. Well, thanks for sharing. Who are you voting for?
Okay. I'm not answering that, babe. I'm not getting trapped in that one. God, no, sir.
I'm just playing.
Oh no, I love it. It'll go one of two ways. I'll either get canceled or it'll be great. So I'm not answering that.
Yeah. All right.
You
Bye-bye.
have a good night, babe.
You too. I'm going to start asking people that at the end. I'm just trolling. I'm trolling people. You come on here, I'll troll you. I would love to have a political channel, though. I would have so much fun with that. Hi there, LK Hogan. What's up?
Hi, how are you tonight?
I'm doing good, thank you.
I like this post. I like that you have guests, and I wasn't sure at first what it was really going to be about, so I was a little afraid to come in, but I appreciate your stance on it. You're very clear, well-spoken, and coming from a place that I think really benefits your marriage.
Okay. Well, thank you. Thanks for sharing. What do you think? Is porn cheating?
I spot on with you. Yes, I believe it is. If you're in a relationship that didn't agree to that. So yeah, I think porn is cheating if you don't agree to it within the marriage, and I think it has lasting effects and can add to other things. So, absolutely.
Okay. All right.
So struggled with it in my marriage a couple of different times, not with me, but and I can always tell. I always can tell because the intimacy changes and you start seeing remnants, secret keeping. It just mushrooms out in different ways. So I do think it is damaging when you're in a married relationship that originally you agreed to be monogamous.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So are you still married?
I am still married, 25 years.
And does your husband watch porn?
I don't seek it. I don't look for it. Yes, I believe he does it.
Ignorance is bliss, huh?
No, I'm not ignorant. I just at this point I've had to kind of separate myself from that. So I have spiritual beliefs behind it too, and I don't agree with it because of that. I thought he was on the same page with that, but the argument is tough, and until I feel like he's convicted on his own, it may not change. He knows my stance on cheating, and when it, he just knows the things I will or won't tolerate. So,
Will you tolerate a husband who watches porn?
I have, yes, in the past. So yeah, I suppose I'm in that position right now again, or possibly could be.
Yeah. How long has that been going on for?
Oh, I'm not sure. I'm guessing maybe 6 months. He took a different job that away from the city, away from home, and nights away, and the feelings changed.
Mm-hmm.
Some things it's just stuff, and I can feel it.
Yeah. What are you wanting to be different?
To be able to have an open conversation about it. To have somebody that's been through it on the other side, seen the damage that's done, share things like this topic on a platform that he might view. So I appreciate this platform because it's a topic that isn't discussed, not talked about.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, it's tough to initiate that conversation. It can be so delicate, especially with a lot of history.
A lot of history. 25 years is a lot of history, Beautiful grown kids, grandkids. There's a lot to that,
Yeah.
So, I'm giving it time because of my spiritual beliefs. As far as that goes, I'm praying over it, and at that point, there's either going to be life changes or, well, for one of us, there's going to be life changes, either him or me, I suppose.
Yeah. Have you tried initiating a conversation with him about it?
I have. It feels like an attack. We even though we came into the relationship, this isn't new. I mean, it's not years and years ago. We had an issue and repaired our marriage. 5 years into our marriage, we repaired our marriage and have, I feel, a very strong, loving, wonderful life. But as time passed, I think some things changed for him. So,
Interesting.
and I think it may be even younger core things that his father put into him. Beliefs that his father poured into him, and he can't seem to detach from that.
With regard to what?
Well, like men are meant to do that. They have that urge that they can't control. Things like that. That everybody does it. It's that same argument of everybody does it, and I'm like, well, I'm not sure about that. It's nothing to be ashamed.
Do you think that's true that everyone does it?
Watch porn? No, I don't.
Yeah. Yeah. Oftentimes, there are beliefs that are instilled in us at a very young age that shape who we are throughout life. I think it's important and healthy and needed to challenge those beliefs. Do we really believe these things to be true? Yeah, I think people actually want to challenge their beliefs. It takes a lot of courage to do that. Because if you come to a new conclusion, you have to admit you're wrong, and nobody wants to do that. Most of the men I work with, there are some remnants of beliefs, typically from their father, when it comes to how to treat women and pornography. Not always from the father, but and they just run an automatic because we think that that's the only way it is, until we're confronted with a circumstance that makes us reevaluate what we believe.
Yeah. Well, I sure would like to see other men, our age, gone through it, being able to talk to each other about it, support each other through it, and explain to them, not as a nagging wife or a somebody that they feel attacked by because of it, but more of a sit around conversation that they can truly just kind of say, hey, this is where I'm at, this is where I'm at, this is how I don't know how to deal with it, and just have those conversations. That's why I guess I tuned in. I was kind of like, I'm not sure I should. Well,
I have great news for you. I have groups for men where we do just that.
Really?
Yes.
I'm gonna send him your way. He's I'm pretty partial to him. This is not an issue that I'm happy about having a conversation about right now, but yeah.
No. Well, if I can be of any help, you can find my resources in my bio. You could schedule a call with me, you or him, and I'd love to chat more. There are places to find that community and to tackle this in a non-judgmental way.
Yeah, that's how I would like to see.
Yeah. All right.
So,
well, thanks. Go ahead.
I will give him. I'll give him the heads up on this. We've talked about it enough to where he knows. We have some communication about it, but I'll pass it on. I appreciate you and this conversation.
Yeah. Thanks for sharing.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. All right. California Mary, why do you want to come back on here?
I have a question for you because you said more. You said more after I was off, and one of the things so it sounded like, would you say you had previously had an addiction to this, or you just had an interest in it? What would you call it?
Yeah, I struggle with the addiction language, to be honest.
Oh, you don't like addiction? Okay, sorry.
No. It's not that I don't like addiction. It's I think when we addiction can be a label and put people in a box. And actually, I watched a video by Dr. Gabor Mate, who's like one of the leading. Is he a neuroscientist or a psychiatrist? One of the two. But he was even saying, like, we got to get away from the addiction language because it becomes a person's identity. But to answer the question, whatever. If you want to say I was addicted to porn, fine. I watched it for 20 years and I couldn't stop for 20 years. So, okay, well, I don't know what else you want to call that. However, as of August 15th, 2017, no more porn. I hate it. I'll never go back.
Okay, which led me to my next question, which was, so did you have a partner that was disagreeing with it, or you just came to a revelation and you decided, oh no, this is not working for me?
Yeah, no, I never got caught. Squeaky clean record. I watched porn for 20 years. I've been married 13. I started cheating after about 1, which lasted for about a year. Held that in, didn't tell anybody, continued with the porn. And then one day at a marriage workshop, I'm like, oh yeah, my marriage is fine. I realized that my marriage wasn't as fine as I thought it was, and my life wasn't as fine as I thought it was. So I said, all right, you know what? I got to do this different. And I was buried under mountains of shame and guilt. And the only way to get out of that is to confess it, to bring it to the light. The opposite of addiction is not sobriety, it's connection to other people. So I had to be actually connected with other people and dismantle the shame. Shame festers in the darkness, but it can't stand being spoken to the light. When you name the shame, when you speak it to the light, now you can actually do something different with it. So I confessed.
So you confessed to your partner, your wife,
Yeah.
that it was a problem you had, but it wasn't a problem that she had. This was just a problem you had, right?
What, her watching porn?
No, her knowing that you were watching porn.
Oh, no, she didn't know I watched porn, or she didn't know I cheated on her. She just knew I was a douchebag.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you just wanted to confirm with her, I'm a douchebag.
Yeah, I just wanted to be like, hey, you know what? I'm so sorry for being such a douchebag. Here's why I'm such a douchebag, and I'm ready to be different.
Did some type of religion or spiritual awareness bring you to this light? What brought you to the light?
Well, I believe in Jesus. I believe the redemption story of the gospel of Jesus, that, you know, any situation is redeemable. We're all sinners and we need a savior. When we try to live life on our own, like when I try to do things the way I want to do them, things always get worse.
Yeah.
But when I get myself out of the way and submit to a higher authority, things always get better.
I agree.
So, yeah, I mean.
But so I was just curious because I know you didn't say addiction, and I wanted to hear. But what other word does that neuroscientist or that psychologist you mentioned, what word does he have for us to put in place for that? Because I like to be as woke as I can about things.
Obviously.
Well, California Mary.
Yeah, I got it. You just want the next most woke buzzword to use, don't you?
Yes, thank you. That would be great.
I have so many things I could say right now, but I am committed to being neutral.
No, be nice
about everything.
Try to be nice.
Oh, it's not about being nice. I have no problem offending people. But
oh, great.
Well, here's the thing. One of the clinical terms is maladaptive coping strategies. So people using maladaptive coping strategies, meaning strategies to cope with things that are bad, not good for you, right? So like, you know, smoking, drinking, drugs, pornography, those are maladaptive coping strategies. They're helping you with something, but they're bad for you, right? Whereas say like workaholism, for example, inherently isn't maladaptive. Like it doesn't hurt your body with the exception of like, you know, the anxiety it causes and things like that, but it's not like detrimental to you at a physical level. Right. So there's maladaptive and there's adaptive coping strategies. So the way that I like to answer the addiction question though is four things. Do you think it's a problem? Have you tried to stop? Or do you think it's a problem? Do you want to stop? Have you tried to stop? And can you stop? If you think it's a problem, you want to stop, you've tried to stop, and you can't stop, call it an addiction, call it something else, whatever. I like to call it a problem to be worked on. So if that's something somebody wants to do, if they want to change this behavior in their life, then great, let's do that. You got to acknowledge it's a problem first.
So just problem to be worked on.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying that's how we should define addiction.
But don't you think addiction is more of a almost medical term? Because there's probably something tied to the neuro, firing and all that crap. Like,
yeah, it's used in that context. Look, if you want to go through all the clinical definitions and all that of addiction, I'm not your guy. Okay. Go find the next woke person in California who will tell you all about that.
I was just saying, I didn't hear you say addiction, but you said the problem, and I just wanted to hear like what you would have called it, because I sometimes think that, and as far as like the term
Maladaptive coping strategy.
maladaptive, you if we use that word in 10 years, that's going to be the not appropriate thing to say, because that's just how this planet works. So I just stick with all the old stuff,
Well,
because
yeah, I think with the addiction language though, it's like now you got a whole bunch of people just saying, I'm an addict, I'm always going to be an addict, like woe is me. I got to go to these programs, which are useful. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that, but
I don't believe in. Well, I don't know what they teach in those. I don't have any of those types of addictions that I had to go to a class or whatever. But I don't think everyone who was an addict will always be an addict. But maybe that's what they teach in like AA or one of these things. But I think you can be. I was addicted to that.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think you could.
And I have no problem. I have no problem saying that for myself.
Yeah.
I couldn't stop.
Yeah. I'm not judging. I was just wondering.
No, I know.
What the take was on that. What the take.
Yeah. Well, I read something recently by a psychologist, a famous psychologist, who said, "You don't stop addictions. You replace it with new behavior." Basically, the argument was, you're always just replacing it with something different.
Right, because the addiction is filling something for you. You just have, I think it has something to do with finding out what it's filling and then try to fill it.
Precisely. That's why with pornography, it's filling some sort of void or hole. I like to say hole in your heart. Some sort of pain or usually trauma from the past.
So I had one more question. So
oh my gosh, you have so many questions.
I know, I'm sorry. Am I making you mad? You can always push that. You can push a little button and then I'll fall off.
I know.
But and you can even mute me. Oh wow.
What's your question?
Am I out of line? I'm on the topic.
No, you're fine. Just ask the question.
Okay. So my next question is, so you mentioned about how there's a connection or an emotional connection with sex or lovemaking or whatever you call it. So did you find, if it's not too personal, that it was much different when you let go of these other mal things and you erased them? Was the connection deeper and better?
100% yes. We'll just say this. People who are deep in porn and think like, oh, I watch porn with my partner because we do all these different moves. They're, in my opinion, and I speak from my own experience as well, for me as well as working with hundreds of people, men and women, is you think that the fake sex you're having is so good because you are so far away from what real intimacy is.
Yeah.
And I use the Snickers bar analogy. If you were to have a strawberry, like a nice ripe strawberry, just one strawberry by itself, it tastes delicious.
Mm-hmm.
It's nice and juicy. It's like, and it lingers in your mouth for a while. It tastes so good. If you were to go have 10 Snickers bars and then have a strawberry, the strawberry would taste like shit.
Yeah.
Because you've ruined your mouth, your taste buds, with synthetic pleasure, with fake sweetness. So now when your mouth actually has the real thing, it doesn't even know what to do with it. It's like, oh, gross, get this out. Give me another Snickers bar. And Snickers bars, similar to porn, they will never satisfy you. They leave you hungrier and hungrier, wanting more and more sweetness. So that's what porn does, is it just hijacks your ability to experience the true intimate pleasure.
Yeah. I just wanted to know if that did happen to you. I imagined that it would, and it would to anyone that was.
Yeah, totally. It happened to me.
Right? Yeah.
Because again, the pornography reinforces that intimacy is only about physical sex. And it reduces a person down to just their sexual value. Do people have sexual value? Yes. Are people much more than their sexual value? Yes. Sex is like a whole connection with two people. It's not just performing a physical act.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I told you, I felt like I had an out-of-body experience once. Literally out of my body. We were tight and connected and committed, and what's the word, monogamous and all that stuff. And it was, so I understand the connection. I was just wondering if that happened, and I'm glad that it did, and I'm glad were open to it, because I think that there's nothing, it's next to godliness, in my opinion, because it's pure.
Yeah.
And it can't be pure with all those other ingredients. It's not pure. So I was just interested in your take. But I'll leave you alone.
All right. Thanks for sharing. I'm sure I'll see you in a few minutes.
Okay, bye.
All right. Bye-bye. All right. Hey, give me a follow if you guys don't follow me already. Follow button. Let's do a poll too. I'm going to put a poll up here. Text poll. Guess what the poll is going to be? I'll give you one guess. Is porn cheating? One trick pony. Right here. Maybe someday I'll do a who are you voting for poll. Vote right here. I should do a poll. Who are you voting for, and is porn cheating? I'd love to see how the data coalesce on that one. All right. So vote in the poll right here. And like and share if you guys haven't already. Why do we only have 3,200 likes? Come on. Come on, people.
Hello.
Hey there, what's going on? Hello.
Nothing much. How about you?
I'm doing good, thanks. Your connection seems real spotty. All right. Come back if you get that figured out. Vote in the poll. Is porn cheating? The results are fascinating. You're never going to believe this. Hey there, Carrie. How's it going? Hello. Okay. Hey there, how's it going?
Hello?
Hi there.
Sorry, can you hear me?
Tasha. Yes, I can hear you. What's up?
I'm not too bad. How are you?
I'm doing good, thanks. What's up?
So, is it nothing much? Just waiting for my daughter to get up and take her to school.
Okay, where do you live?
Scotland, and it's currently 25 to 7 in the morning here.
Oh, that's early.
Yeah, I've been up since 4:30 this morning.
Well, top of the morning to you. Is porn cheating?
I don't think, like, say if you go on things like Pornhub or, like the internet sites, I don't see that as cheating, but I'm iffy when it comes to, like, subscription services like OnlyFans. Because obviously you have to pay for that. So that's money that's, like, say for instance, if my fiance was to subscribe to somebody's OnlyFans, I would see that as cheating because they're paying for it. If you get what I mean.
Mm-hmm. I got it. Okay.
Like, just looking at, like, standard internet porn sites, I don't think that's cheating because, they're watching it, it's all fantasy, it's in their head and whatnot. But when it comes to OnlyFans, obviously you have to, obviously pay for the subscription. If you get what I mean, like, I know it's...
From your point of view, it's once money is transacted that it becomes cheating?
Yes. I know a lot of people won't agree with that, but when somebody starts to add the money for it, then I would consider that cheating, unless he were to ask me, about it.
Mm-hmm. So if he's not paying for it, how do you feel that your partner likes the feeling or they get aroused by watching another woman have sex?
No, that wouldn't bother me.
It wouldn't bother you. But if he paid
No.
for the feeling of being aroused by another woman having sex, that would bother you.
Yeah, I think it's just when it becomes transactional, that's what would bother me,
Okay. So if you came home and say your husband's, got a big screen TV, women who he thinks is beautiful that aren't you on the screen having sex with other men, sitting there masturbating, would you ask him, would you be like, hey, did you pay for this?
Yeah, I think I would, yeah.
Okay. That would be your first inclination, is just say how much money was transacted, and if he said none, then you just carry on?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay. And what if he said he spent $1?
That's how I feel personally. I know a lot of the people in the comments are like, she's wrong. Let me go in the box so I can tell her how wrong she is. And I'm like,
I got it. You're not talking to the people in the comments. You're talking to me.
yeah, I know. I'm just saying, obviously, they are, saying that I'm wrong and stuff. And I'm like, no, well, I'm talking to you about it. You know what I mean? It's how I would feel about it personally. Obviously, it's not everybody's going to agree with the way that I feel and the way that, because it's just, that's my opinion. That's how I feel. But obviously, other people are going to be different. They're not going to have the same opinion as me. But personally, for me, when it becomes transactional, that's when I would have an issue with it.
Mm-hmm. Got it.
But if he were to like ask me to watch porn, like just like on like Pornhub or something, and you're like, do you want to watch this? I'd be like, right, cool, yeah, sure. It doesn't bother me. I mean, he doesn't even watch porn. My partner.
How do you know?
We spend most of our time together, and when he's not with me, he's working.
Do you know how many guys watch porn at work?
Oh no, he definitely doesn't.
How do you know?
Because he doesn't have time. Where he works, you're not allowed to have your phone on you. So his phone has to be in his locker. So he's not, obviously he can't have access to his phone on shift. So.
Got it. Okay. All right. So at the point money is transacted, yeah, look, we can get lost in the comments.
That's where I would definitely draw the line, if that makes sense.
I'm hearing what you're saying, yes.
Yeah.
All right.
Do you consider porn cheating?
Well, I think if you're in a committed monogamous relationship where you've said something like, I love you, only you, with my whole mind, body, and soul, till death do us part. I think if that's what you've said to the person, like if you're in a monogamous relationship where it's only the two of you, I think if you deviate from that, whether it's with somebody who's on a screen or otherwise, I think that's going against the agreement and therefore cheating.
Yeah, well, that's fair enough. I understand where you're coming from with that.
So do you and your partner have a like, what's your agreement in your relationship?
Basically, he can do the whole internet porn thing if he wants. He doesn't. And I'm not like being naive saying, I know he doesn't. I know he's afraid, doesn't he watch porn, blah, blah, blah. He'll do it at work, blah, blah. If he wanted to watch porn, we're very open. So if he wanted to watch it, he would ask me, do you want to watch it with me?
Hey, can I bring this super annoying guy in the comments on who keeps saying that you're wrong?
Yes, please.
Because I have to talk to this guy.
Please do.
Okay.
No, look.
Okay. Ryan, why is she wrong?
Because she's talking about transactions, right? But like, you can go onto Pornhub and like watch, like a porn star, right? Let's say it's like a specific one. Like, what's the difference between just watching them? You know what I mean? Than paying for it. I don't get it.
Well, she said.
Well, I've made my point.
Why is she wrong? She said, in her point of view, it's once money is transacted. That's when she has a problem with it. Why is she wrong about that?
Yeah, but why though? Because like it's specific to that one person, right? It's their OnlyFans.
Right, but how am I wrong by saying that I find transactional things cheating and standard Pornhub not cheating?
OnlyFans is for one person, right? So that's like going on Pornhub and watching one person all the time.
Not really, because you don't have to pay for it. You can watch it for free and you can watch anybody. But when you want OnlyFans, you have to pay for the subscription.
What if he's watching that same woman all the time? You don't think that's a bit like...
Well, I've got access to his phone. I could go through his phone anytime, day or night, if I wanted to. And I know for a fact he doesn't use the sites.
What's...
I can't hear you, Ryan. Can you guys hear?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Instead of it being you.
We didn't hear you, Ryan. You're cutting out. Your connection's bad.
Yo, hello?
Yeah.
You reconnect me. Let me connect to Wi-Fi. Reconnect me in like 1 minute. Yo, reconnect me in like 1 minute.
I just I'm gonna ban this guy after he's done. I can't stand people that spam in the comments. All right. Well, you want to hang out until he comes back, Tasha?
Yeah, sure.
All right. I'm gonna bring somebody else on.
Okay, look.
All right. Carrie, hi there. How's it going?
Hi, how are you?
I'm doing good, thanks. How are you?
Good. Early morning, same as Tasha here herself. I'm in Ireland, so it's 6:42 in the morning.
I love all the people with funny accents that come on.
Oh, funny.
Or
Okay.
Maybe I'm the one with the funny accent.
Yeah, it's different.
Yeah.
So
What's
you
up?
know, like I used to agree kind of with what Tasha was saying there. I do think it's cheating, in my opinion. It did sneak into my marriage. I have 5 children, and again, at the beginning, I did kind of let it go. Until he kind of started getting sneaky and hiding things, and then it moved from porn to live cam, and that's what ended my marriage.
Sorry to hear that.
Yeah.
So you were okay with porn initially, and then it moved to live cam?
I was in the beginning because I was like,
Yeah.
oh, men wouldn't be men or whatever, and now I have 3 sons, and I'm like, no, that is not the real world.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So-
it's not very nice. And then
Yeah.
I know Tasha said she agreed with it or whatever, and I was the same until it does drive a wedge.
Yeah. What was it about the escalating to live cams that made you change your point of view?
To me, that was more physical. So
What about
to me,
it?
that was more intimate. That was one person speaking to him. So I did have a problem with the porn. After the first couple of times, I was like, okay, I'm uncomfortable. I don't like this. And then he kind of got more sneaky, would start to hide things, and it escalated from there. Again, did it in work. I found proof that he was doing it at work
See,
So-
told you. People do it at work all the time.
all the time. It's crazy, and
Yeah.
especially when there's kids involved. So it's not nice.
Yeah. How long have you guys been separated?
A year in October.
Hmm.
A year in October, and he's very apologetic and wants to work things out. But I right now, like he's done counselling separately. I've done counselling separately, and at the minute, it's just not something I can get past.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it certainly it rocks your world when you find out about it. It's very painful.
It is. We were only married 3 years, so it was quite a short marriage too. Long relationship, but a short marriage.
Yeah. Well, what have you done in the time that's passed to kind
So
of focus on
I have
yourself?
done my own personal counselling to kind of find out why it triggered me. And he has done his own personal counselling also, but it was a boundary for me, and he knew that and still did it. So I suppose I've just been focusing on my kids, my own health, and my own mental health, basically.
Yeah. Yeah. Good for you. That's important.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And I really hope for yourself, Tasha. I really hope that you don't end up in the same situation yourself. You know, if you have children, it's not nice, and it's not nice on the children asking questions, and you can't explain.
Yeah. Tasha, you still there?
Yeah, try that again. My microphone was muted.
Tasha, how long have you been in the relationship?
It'll be 3 years in October.
Do you guys have kids?
I have a child from a previous relationship, but it's not my partner's.
Okay.
He's her stepdad.
Okay. Got it.
I broke up with my daughter's father because he couldn't keep it in his pants and he fucked everything that moved.
Okay. Did you hear what Carrie was saying?
About it being the end of our marriage. Yeah.
I'm curious what your thoughts are.
Yeah. Well, I agree with her with the whole live cam thing. That would be, to me, that's the same as OnlyFans. You know what I mean?
Right, but even,
so
if there's no money involved?
Yeah, because cams are like a one-to-one thing.
So is OnlyFans.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
You just don't pay for these cams. You can go online and you can just watch these online, same as Pornhub.
Yeah, I mean, I would definitely agree with you with the live cam thing. I wouldn't be okay with that.
You know, oftentimes people who watch pornography, they go to the same videos over and over and over, the same performers over and over and over.
Yeah, because they find someone or something they like.
That's what I found.
Yeah, which is pretty similar to, you know, going to the same OF creator or camera.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, just for me, it's like, obviously I know that the live cams, some of them you pay for, some of them you don't. And it would be the one-to-one thing that would like bother me, if that makes sense.
Yeah. What do one of you guys have a smoke detector in the background that needs the batteries to be replaced?
That's me.
Yeah, it's you. Every night somebody comes on and needs a battery to be replaced in there.
That's me. My alarm company keeps ringing me and they're like, "You need to replace your battery." I know, I will.
Well, why don't you do it? Think of how much better your life would be if you didn't have that thing going off every 30 seconds.
It's irritating.
I don't think I could stand it. It would drive me insane. I pulled my carbon monoxide detector out of the ceiling because it wouldn't shut up and I couldn't turn it off, so I just ripped it out the ceiling.
Yeah, it's so
that's dangerous, just as dangerous as me not replacing my battery.
I know. I eventually got a new one fitted that didn't beep, but it wouldn't shut up, and I got so annoyed with it and just ripped it out the ceiling.
Oh man. All right, well, thank you both for sharing. Where's that Ryan guy? He was here for a second, but now he's gone. I'm gonna bring California Mary back.
I just want to know why he thinks I'm wrong.
Okay,
well, hold on, Mary. Here's what I think is interesting, Tasha, about him thinking you're wrong. It's like, who is he to say that you're wrong about what you've decided, right?
Yeah,
he
it's
may
my
not
opinion. He doesn't have to like it, but it's
exactly
how I feel.
He may not agree with it. But I just thought his approach was, and if he's here, fine. But it's so aggressive. It's like, no, you're wrong, and it's like, okay, interesting.
Yeah, he's not in the relationship with me and my partner, so what's wrong to him is not wrong to us.
Yeah. What's up, Mary? You're back.
Just wanted to say the beeping thing. So did you ever see the Friends episode where they did everything they could to stop that beeping, and it was like she threw it out the window and a guy still came up to her door and said, "Hey, this came out of your..."
And brought it back.
Yeah, that's definitely me.
It was still beeping, and I was like
oh man, I haven't seen that.
it's hysterical. And the girl that, you know, it's the blonde girl that on the show that it happens to, and it's flipping hysterical because everyone has been through that. Every person, I think, alive has experienced that beeping, and I it's amazing you haven't changed it, because I literally can't go through a whole night with that. I would jump off a bridge. They would find me dead somewhere.
Carrie's going through a lot, guys. Carrie's going through a lot.
Yeah. Sorry, Carrie. I wish I could come over there wherever you are. Are you in Scotland?
Ireland.
Oh, Ireland. I wish I could. Oh, it's so beautiful there too. I wish I could come and help you out with that one.
It's beautiful in the sun. We've had rain for about 4 months.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, we were the same. I had like two nice days of summer back to back, and then that was it, and it's been pissing it down with rain ever since.
Yeah, that's crazy.
We had like a 2 days long summer, and that was it.
Ireland.
That's how all the green comes, right?
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, so every night, I had one night where like 6 of my guests all had these smoke detector things going off. I'm like, this is crazy. How do people live like this? Like, it's almost more prevalent than porn addiction.
It is. It's actually crazy to see how many people in the comments actually don't believe it's cheating. It's crazy to me. Yeah, and I know everyone has their own opinion or whatever, but it's crazy to me.
Well, but I mean, Carrie, you were like that, right? You thought that until it
I
escalated
did
to
at the
something
beginning, yeah, 100%.
where you really
I
had
did
to,
at the beginning. I was thinking,
yeah,
it's fine.
put your foot
It's
down.
okay. It didn't affect our intimacy until it did.
Yeah. Yeah, it's all great until it's not. And then when it's not,
I was
it's
literally
real
about to
bad.
say that is everything's fine until it's not, and then that's what changes.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, the one thing I didn't share with you, Austin, my husband was incarcerated for 28 years. So highly likely he was never going to let go of the porn thing, because that was
Hold
all
on.
he had.
Was he incarcerated for a while while you guys were married? Because you said you were married for 25?
No, we were only married. So I dated him we were married for 6 years, and it was in the end of his incarceration, because I went to school with him in high school. So I had because of the internet brings all the Looney Tunes and weirdos to you. So, I connected with him on the internet because everyone in, prison has a phone. That's just a fact. And, we reconnected because we were friends, and we also worked together when we were really young. And then that was how we connected. And then we got married. And so that's why I was a little bit lenient with the whole porn thing, because that was his life. So I didn't think it was just going to flip and change. It probably would have taken a lot of work. So I didn't throw that one little piece in there.
Yeah, well,
because it's not like he just was a porn freak from day one. It was just because he chose that rather than being gay, I guess. I don't know.
well, I mean, it's like you were willing to overlook things just because he was in prison for a period of time.
Well, I wouldn't say I was overlooking it, because it bothered me and it hurt my feelings. But if he was looking at something that was close to what I look like, I might be like, oh, okay, I get that. But it was...
Yeah, I don't get that. I don't get that one. I mean, I was on live earlier today and somebody said that exact same thing. It's like there's only one of you, though. And that's, again, where you reduce yourself down to just your sexual value. That's where you can make that claim. But, you're... At some point, you're missing the whole person that you are. And there's only one of you.
Well, that's deep. But yeah, don't get so deep on me after the whole fire alarm thing, okay? I wasn't ready. I wasn't ready for all that. But yes, you're right. But of course, I had a lot of things, and still, I since divorced him, and he died like a month after I divorced him. So I've been working through a lot. So that's a good thing. I'll put that on my list of things to work through.
Sorry, I don't mean this in a joking way, but put grief on that list as well. Like, that's a lot to grieve.
Yeah, it's a lot, but it is what it is. But I'm just saying, like, yeah, I didn't even go there, what you're talking about. Like, I'm just going by looks, right? Like, I wasn't even going with the whole human being that I was to him.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you for sharing. I'm going to kick you all off now. We'll move on. Thank you,
I gotta
Tasha,
go get my kids
Mary,
up for school.
Carrie.
So
Yep. Sounds good.
you.
And
Thank you
we'll
so
see you
much.
guys next
Have
time.
a nice night.
You got it. You too. Mary, I'm sure I'll see you back. Don Lums? No? V wants to join. I got it. Look, if there's anything, for those of you who are the regulars, what irks me the most that people do on here? It's when people beg to come on. Can't stand it. I'll get to you when I get to you. Begging. I can't stand the begging. Oh my gosh, Ryan. Ryan, we were waiting. Can I join on begging? Oh my gosh. I'll bring you on because you were on before. All
Yo,
right,
I
what's
just
up?
wanted to say, listen, bro. Your microphone sounds beautiful. That's all I wanted to say.
Thank you.
Like,
Appreciate that.
I don't know. I thought this was AI at first, bro. I'm not even gonna lie, bro. Like the camera setup and everything, bro. Like I rate it. I rate the hustle. You know what I mean?
All right. Well, thanks for sharing, man.
Yeah, everyone just had to know that. You know what I mean? Like, look, bro, just appreciate the camera quality right now. Appreciate it,
Yeah.
because you're not gonna
Great.
see this anywhere else.
Not gonna see it.
All right,
Best
cool.
looking stream on TikTok. All right. See you, man.
See ya, bro. See ya.
All right. All right. So the poll was 68.18% said yes, porn is cheating, and 31.82%. I'm very yawny tonight. 31.82% was no. I don't know how many people voted. I can probably see that somehow, but I don't know. I've never shared this before, but I used to watch it with my boyfriend. Well, thank you, Donna Laidlaw. Secret's out. Good job. Shame festers in the darkness, but it can't stand being spoken to the light. Fran or Francesca? Hi there.
Hi. I say no.
Okay.
I mean, just personally in my relationship, I don't feel so. It doesn't bother me. Obviously, you're on the defensive because you're a porn coach.
I'm not on the defensive. I'm saying if it depends on what's the agreement in a relationship. If you agree that a relationship is just between two people, then if you have more than two people, then that goes against the agreement.
I wouldn't consider someone on a screen another person.
Am I a
That's just
person?
me.
I'm on a screen.
You know what I mean? Like consuming.
What you just said, you
porn.
said you wouldn't consider a person on a screen a person. So am I a person?
You're obviously a person. I just mean in terms of pre-recorded media, porn. It doesn't matter.
So if it's pre-recorded, then it's not a person?
You're obviously trying to like catch me in some kind of double entendre.
Nope.
I'm
I'm just
just
taking the words
saying-
you're saying and seeking to be more clear.
Porn does not bother me.
Okay. Why is that?
Point blank period. It just doesn't. I think men visually seek attraction, whether they're in public, they're home, behind a screen. I've been in restaurants where guys will break their necks while their girlfriends are next to them to look at the person walking by in a short dress. Like, that's just as much.
Do you think that men who are in a committed monogamous relationship should be doing that?
No, I don't, but I see it happen all the time.
Okay. But you don't think they should. So do you think they should strive for something different?
In terms of what?
Not lusting after other women while they're in a relationship?
Do you think that's possible?
I know it's possible.
You think that any single man won't find another woman attractive while in a relationship?
A single man would not be in a relationship. That would be a person in a relationship.
An individual person.
Oh, got it.
Yeah,
I think
as if that
you're in-
changes things.
Got it. Sorry, you said single man.
Mm-hmm.
So, do I think it's possible for a person who's committed to somebody else to not be lusting after other people?
In a relationship, you've never found another person physically attractive.
There's a difference between acknowledging beauty and lusting after somebody.
Is there?
Yes.
Beauty in terms of?
Just acknowledging, oh, that's a beautiful person. There's no issue with that.
What constitutes beauty by your standard?
Beauty's in the eye of the beholder.
Oh yeah, by like what standard?
Whatever the person thinks is beautiful.
So it could
It's
be
different for
perky
everybody.
breasts, a round ass. Those things could be beautiful to a man, and that's not.
Sure. But if you're lusting, if that's what you're lusting after, that might be a problem if you're in a relationship.
So you can say, wow, that woman has a nice rack, but if you're not lusting after it, it's not.
I would say that a comment like that is fueled by a lustful intent. So I'd say that my opinion, I'm married, that wouldn't be something that, in my opinion, a married person should be doing. In your opinion, is it?
In my opinion, is what?
Do you think that people who are in committed relationships should be behaving like that?
Looking at someone and thinking they're pretty?
No, that's very different than what you just said. Said, no, that's very different than what you just said. Saying somebody's pretty or acknowledging somebody's beautiful is very different than saying an objectifying comment like you said.
I don't disagree. I'm just saying you're trying to like qualify or quantify how someone's going to appreciate another person's level of beauty. Like, you can't police someone's thoughts. You can't go into someone's head and determine how they personally determine that.
Who's policing thoughts?
I never said that. I'm just saying, how are you
just
individually?
Said that. You just said that, and then I asked who's saying that, and then you said you never said that.
I really don't know what point you're trying to make towards me.
I'm asking the question, is porn cheating? I'm not asking you to agree with me or not.
I said no.
Okay, and then you're asking me all these questions, and I'm seeking clarity, and we're not getting anywhere. Do you think that people who are in a committed relationship should be lusting after people outside that relationship?
That's not what porn is.
What's porn then?
It's fulfilling a fantasy. It's fulfilling like a sexual need outside of your partner, but who cares?
Well, if you're in a committed relationship with two people, I think the people in the relationship should care if you're going to fulfill a sexual fantasy outside of the relationship. That's by definition cheating.
But what if they don't?
If they don't agree to that, then it wouldn't be cheating because they didn't agree to monogamy.
Okay, so that's the point right there. If you don't agree to it, like if that's not the agreement within your relationship, why would it be cheating?
It wouldn't be. I've said that 450 times tonight.
Okay, but you keep acting like I'm wrong and saying I don't think it's cheating.
I don't think you're wrong about anything. Actually, that's not true. I think I've stated what I believe. If you're in a committed monogamous relationship with another person, you've said something like, I love you, I'm only committed to you, mind, body, and soul till death do us part. If you deviate from that, that's by definition cheating because you went against the agreement. That's it. That's my assertion. I'm not asking you to believe that assertion. You can take the inverse of that, which is if you didn't make the agreement, then it wouldn't be cheating, which I agree with.
Okay. Your comments are calling me like a sex worker, a triggered teenager. What else?
What do you make
Offending
of
my
that?
job. Because what? I have a different opinion?
I don't know.
The way I'm dressed says it all.
What do you do for a living?
I work in marketing.
Okay.
So that has
what kind of
nothing to do
marketing?
with my outfit. Product marketing.
What kind of products?
Different products like clothing, different things.
Okay.
Dress like
All
that,
right.
very professional. It's my private profile. What does it matter to you?
It doesn't matter to me. You're the one that brought it up. Look,
I'm
if you
reading
want
your
to,
comments.
I have not put a single comment in here. Have you seen
Okay.
any comments from Porn Coach in here since you've been talking?
No, I'm reading the people speaking to me.
Great. How do you feel about that?
irritated
Why?
because I'm not allowed to have an opinion without being some kind of sex worker or whore, according to them.
I haven't seen one comment that says you can't have an opinion.
They're disavowing my
But
opinion based on their preconceived notions of what kind of person I am.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Who's next?
Hello?
Hey there, what's going on?
Just driving. I'm just a truck driver listening to this, and it's actually quite interesting.
Do you know what a lot lizard is?
Seriously, you start with that.
I ask every truck driver that. I ask every truck driver that.
Yeah, yes, I know what a lot lizard is. They're not interested in me. I accidentally stumbled across a lot gator.
A lot gator? I've never heard that.
I've made that, I've coined that term for the males. I didn't know that they came in that time, but I
That's
accidentally
amazing.
found one.
Oh, that's amazing. All right, well, what's going on?
But to answer your question, I think porn is cheating if you're in a monogamous relationship, and y'all don't agree to that. But I also believe too, I don't believe people were ever meant to have so much access to other individuals via media. And so I think that addictive personality or addictive traits have become easier throughout the years. I mean, you have access to, and it's not just porn, even it's just desensitizing us to everything these days, to sexuality, to just all different forms of morality. And that's where I sit on that. But this is coming from somebody who was a porn addict for a long period of time and still struggles with it.
Yeah. Yeah, thanks for sharing that. Yeah, you know, I like that, the notion of like it just, people were not intended to handle that much stimulus on a screen, especially sexual in nature. And it really can jack up in your brain.
Also, too, I see that we have to soothe ourselves, and if we don't have good role models in our lives, we tend to go to the easiest form of soothing. And before it used to be alcohol or drugs, but now I think media has become the new addiction for even people in their teens are more having more of that addictive personality of porn and all different other things as well.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's rampant amongst teenagers and 20-somethings, generally speaking, as well. Yeah. So, how long has it been a struggle for you?
My introduction to sex was through that. My first situation was the only form of intimacy I've ever really experienced had that playing in the background or that as a catalyst. So trying to break away from that, especially now that I've found my faith, has been a struggle because I associate any form of intimacy with pornography. And that's where I have a problem with.
Yeah, so you've associated porn and sex together because of how you were first introduced to it?
Yes.
Yeah, interesting.
So,
do you find there's certain themes in your life to where you're going back to it? Like certain things or circumstances happen to where you're going back to porn?
Stress. When I get very stressed out, it's a soothing coping mechanism.
Yeah.
So, and now that I've been single for the longest period of time in my life, I'm trying to work through that. And I find it interesting, a lot of like women that you've had on your stream have said that they were okay with it, and it's like they are okay with it until something like more happens. It'll always be more. It's deep because the person constantly is doing that to soothe themselves in some way, that it's going to escalate. It's never going to stay where it's at. Like with any addiction, that's where it's going to go. It's going to get more and more perverse.
Yeah. Yeah, porn use always escalates. It always escalates into something else. Sometimes physical cheating, not always, but it always escalates. Yeah. Well, thanks for sharing.
I just wanted to put my 2 cents in. Oh, I know you're going to ask, so I might as well come out. If I get canceled, I'll get canceled. I'm going to vote for Trump, so that's bye, dear.
All right, thanks for sharing. Bye-bye. I love that. That's the thing now. Oh, I shouldn't have asked that to begin with. Who thinks I should start a political channel? Who thinks I should start a political channel? Oh, man. Should I start a poll? I don't want to deviate. I don't want to get into all that. Oh, trust me, Jay, this channel wouldn't go away. I do love to debate. There's this guy, a couple people I follow. The thing that in order, like, successful political people, they have to be dogmatic. You have to be at one end of the extreme, and I just can't do that. Like, there has to be logic and reason, and successful political people are just stuck on one end or the other. And so I would probably have the least interesting political channel. Or maybe it would be very interesting because I would just facilitate interesting conversation. All right, I got to go potty. I'll be back. Hold on. All right. All right. By the way, I'm a coach. I do one-on-one coaching as well as group coaching, both for men dealing with porn or sex addiction or unwanted sexual behavior, as well as women dealing with betrayal trauma. If you're interested in joining a group to support you through betrayal trauma that is so painful and so lonely and so isolating, be happy to chat with you. You can schedule a call with me in the link in my bio. If you're a man dealing with unwanted sexual behavior, and you want to experience freedom from that, same thing. Go to the link in my bio. You can schedule a call with me or join one of my groups. The groups meet on either Tuesday night in America or Wednesday afternoon for the men's groups. You can get more info on the link in my bio. Are these lives random or routine? They're pretty random. Richie. I am working towards scheduling them. And my next scheduled one is hello, Cal. I'm going to do on Saturday night. Oh, wait, maybe I won't because I'm supposed to hang out with a buddy. I see. This is why I don't like to commit to it. But somebody told me this about scheduling lives. They're like, you need to schedule it. That's like having a TV show and not telling people when it's on. And I think at this point, I'm basically at the point where this is like a TV show. So I'm going to non-committally say Saturday night at 9 p.m. Pacific time, once the children go down. So you just got to turn those notifications on, okay? Rachie, every time one of these starts, my ex I want to get on here is always going to bed. He's your ex. Why do you care, Rachie? Move on with your life. Just kidding. I don't know you. I don't know what's best for you. Do another poll. All right. We'll do another poll. Is Corn cheating? We'll take another guest on here. Me and my wife watches Corn, and I've been married 42 years. Like and subscribe. Like button up there. Let's get it up to 25,000 likes. Somebody said that. Watermelons. Hi there. What's going on?
Hi, how's it going? Can you hear me?
I'm doing good, thanks. Yes, I can hear you. Are you eating pizza in your picture?
Yeah, I am.
But it says watermelons. Okay.
Yeah, is that confusing?
Well, I couldn't tell if it was watermelon or pizza. Anyways, what's going on?
Neither the name nor the picture were premeditated, so I just kind of threw them in there. I think that the question, is porn cheating, is maybe the wrong question. Maybe it's like, are human beings monogamous? Because porn is very, very hard to avoid in today's day and age, and it's such a reward trigger on the male brain that, yeah, so I don't know. I feel like it's super complicated.
Okay.
So are you trying to debate people? Is that what's happening?
Not necessarily. You can if you want to. You can share your story. You can share.
Well, I don't necessarily have a story.
Are humans monogamous?
Do I think so? I think probably not. I think from the research, it tends to suggest that that human beings are like for periods of 4 to 6 years, which is enough time for a woman to get pregnant and for the young offspring to grow up and be strong. So the father's around and in love with the mother. So he takes care of the mother, who then takes care of the baby. So the literature, from what I remember, I think was 4 to 6 years in consecutive monogamy. So, yes, human beings can be monogamous, but it tends to be for a period of 4 to 6 years, and then you go to someone else. And that's just looking at people, objectively.
Okay. So then what about marriage?
Me personally, I wouldn't get married.
Well, that's not what I asked. Thanks for sharing, though.
Okay. Sorry.
What about monogamy in the context of marriage?
I don't think I understand what you're asking me. Sorry, could you rephrase it?
Yeah, so you're saying that you've read some literature that indicates that human beings are only monogamous for 4 to 6 years, particularly as children are being raised to a point where they're more or less self-sufficient. My words, not yours. My question was, well, what about marriage? What about when people make a commitment to monogamy within marriage?
I wonder if people should make such a promise that is like more than likely going to be extremely difficult to uphold, specifically for men, for males, right? Like women are
Yes,
pretty
marriage
good.
is very difficult to uphold. If you want to do something hard, get married.
Right, yeah. So I don't think it has any place if we're being like, you know, objective people who are looking at the reality of the world. I don't think it makes much sense. I understand why people like it. I like the idea is great. You know, it would be nice if the fairy tale that we were all kind of sold was what it is, but I don't think that's
what fairy tale were you sold?
well, like most young girls, you know, you're giving a baby as a toy to take care of when you're still a young child. You're given like a kitchen play set. All of the TV shows and all of the movies that you watch are about a princess waiting for her prince to come along and happily ever after, right? So women are heavily indoctrinated.
So are men.
Yeah. I'm not sure. I'm not a man, but how did you find that you were indoctrinated?
Well, the inverse of everything you're saying with how women are indoctrinated is true for men. Be the prince, be Prince Charming, you know, go fight the war, strive to be a king.
Yeah, but I find that men are taught to put themselves first, like their work and, you know, work hard and then the rest will come. And women are conditioned to sort of always put the relationships first, even before their own progression, even before their own careers. Like women will always sort of keep a door open for that, whereas men are conditioned more to like pick themselves first always. You know what I mean?
I'm hearing you. I don't know that I agree with that. That we're conditioned for that. You said you're not going to get married. Are you in a relationship?
No, I'm not. I maybe like a year ago, I got out of a long-term one, like 6 years. Before that, long-term, I just had like long-term relationships back to back.
Do you have any desire to have children?
No, I don't.
Did you ever?
But that's because I had to sort of raise myself. I didn't get much of a childhood, so my thing is like, I just want to make a lot of money and give myself a childhood that I never got, like in my adulthood. So I'm probably, I don't think I'm the norm per se, but no, I definitely don't want kids.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And I think you have kids, right?
I do. I have 3 kids.
And how old is your oldest?
9.
That's a lot. And you're doing all of that without porn? Like you're to like take a break? Sorry, not to talk about, that was kind of weird to have them in the same. But like, just, I feel like all the dads that I know that are like stressed out, like they're all definitely watching porn, like for sure. And then with the wife,
there's a reason for that, because they don't know how to deal with their stress, and they're going to a quick fix.
Right.
I used to, and then I figured out that wasn't resourceful for my marriage or for being a good dad, in my orientation of being a good dad.
Yeah. There's not
watching porn teaches you to view people as objects.
Yeah, no, it definitely does. I've read quite a few studies about the impact that it has on the brain. Mm-hmm. And I guess the area of the brain of where like you were to see a hammer, identify a hammer or a tool of some sort, that area of the brain also lights up when you're watching sexual images, which is interesting as well. Mm-hmm. So yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I don't. I'm curious on the, why just because you have kids should you masturbate while watching other women have sex? Like,
No, I don't
that's
think that you should. I just think that we live in a really complicated world, and there's like a lot of shades of gray, and yeah, I don't know. I think we need to start over, like in society in general. But,
where's the reset button?
yeah, seriously.
I mean, unfortunately, welcome to planet Earth. That's not how it works. Like here we are. All we have is today.
True that.
Right. So I mean, there's the notion of like what would be ideal, and then there's what's reality today, and how can we strive towards a better future. I believe, this is my opinion, I think monogamy works really well. It's in my opinion the model that we should strive for. I get that doesn't always happen, but strive towards that. Have the family unit be intact. Don't watch porn. Don't be sleeping around with other people. It seems to work pretty well.
I feel like I'm yet to see an example of that though. Like, and if we're all being like super honest, like, does that really exist anywhere?
What part about it?
Like even like super religious and rural families. I mean, all those guys are, knees deep in porn and sex addiction. Like everyone has access to porn, and it's so, like I said, it's so enticing for the male brain, and just like happily ever after, married couple, man doesn't watch porn. Like, does that really exist? That's what I want to know. Like, really, for a long term with a guy that's not porn. Having to go to like meetings and like relapse and whatever, which, listen, power to you. But I mean, does that really exist where it's just a family? It does?
Yes.
For more than like a year at a time?
Yeah, it does. Again, the question though is, if we look at porn as being a maladaptive coping strategy, like you mentioned, people with young kids, they're turning to it because they're stressed out from life. The question is, how can they deal with their stresses better, their emotions better? Right?
Yeah.
Whether it's porn, drugs, sex, alcohol, there are things that just aren't good for people. We know that. It's not a secret. There's no debate about that. So the question is, how can we strive for something better? How can we choose something
Are men
new
not
and
still
different?
debating that porn is healthy and good for you? Isn't that, I thought that was like the consensus amongst men still. Has that changed?
That it's good and healthy?
Yeah.
I think, and take it with a grain of salt because this is the world I live in, but I think that there's a huge movement where people are realizing porn is terrible for you. Like, especially younger people, they get it. Younger people really do get it, in my opinion. And I'm saying that I talk to a lot of people at a lot of different ages, but mostly people in their 20s, and the younger people are actually way quicker to say, like, yeah, this is such a big problem, I want to change. It's the older people that I have to convince that it's a problem.
Yeah.
Younger people,
millennials and Gen X and boomers even.
Yeah, there's very little resistance in my experience from people who are on that younger side. Now, you got to take it with a grain of salt, given what I do, right? So, I'm not speaking for all people, obviously. But yeah, it's rampant. I mean, even like phones, like the phone addiction, device addiction, it's crazy.
Yeah, I definitely suffer with that. I'm on my screen way too much at work and everything. But
yeah, so even then you can ask the question, like, is it good? Is it natural for people to be glued to a piece of metal all day? Like, probably not, right? Not. So it's like, well, what should we strive to do differently then? Actually create connections with other human beings. That's what we all want.
True, yeah. Connection is the answer, I guess.
The opposite of addiction is not sobriety. It's connection.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
Love that. All right, well,
All
I'll
right.
let you go. I honestly didn't expect you to pick me, but it was great to have a chat. I'm happy you did.
Yeah. Thanks for chatting.
All right, thanks.
All right. Bye-bye. Right about now. Funk Sober. Love that song. Anybody else? There are so many people waiting. I love this. Okay. I wish oh my gosh, California Mary. Why do I keep it's entertainment. That's why.
Okay, so no, I have a real question
Okay.
tied to this exact topic. I want to know if you could speak to not the porn, but the masturbating, if I can say that word on here.
Well, you just did.
Okay, sorry. Do you want to kick me off? Can I say it or no?
No,
Do we have to
I'm
pick it?
I'm a big fan of free speech. Big
Okay,
fan of
good.
free speech.
So
Yeah.
it's just a word. We know the definition of it. So all I'm asking is, let's just take the porn out of the picture.
Mm-hmm.
So what about that?
Yeah, well, it's a great question. I ask people that question all the time. They're like, well,
Yeah.
you know, he or she is, you know, we're long distance, or he's in the military, or he left the house for 4 hours. Shouldn't he be able to watch porn and masturbate?
2 hours.
It's like, yeah, there's a difference between watching porn and masturbating and just masturbating. Now, I'm not saying that we should be compulsively masturbating. There's data that suggests that that's not
Right.
good. Go
Right.
watch Dr. Trish Lee on YouTube. She's linked to my resources page. She has, in my opinion, the best content on that. So I don't think masturbation is necessarily always wrong. However, if it's done in secret, if it's done in replacement for sex, or if it's done with fantasy, then
Right.
it's a problem. Usually a
Right.
problem. And to meet those three criteria are very difficult. Very difficult, especially for somebody who has a history of porn, the fantasy criteria.
Right.
So
So,
that's my thought.
so like I was super raised Catholic. I don't practice now, but so masturbation was, that was kind of unheard of, whatever. But I see the reason for it. I see the reason for the removal of it in a committed relationship. Because at that point you have your partner, if you can't wait till they get home from work, I don't get it. Like that, I don't get that piece. I've been, what's it called when you haven't had sex for quite
Celibate.
a few years?
Celibate.
Yeah, I've been celibate for years. And not that I don't get, I get hit on all the time. I get phone propositions all the time, but it's not what I'm looking for. And I think when you get older, it sounds like you really reached that at a young age. But you realize that when you get older, like, no, I want you to connect with me. I want you to connect with me. So I just was wondering, like that piece, taking the porn out of it entirely, because that just takes you over the edge. But why are you going there in the first place?
Yeah, exactly. And those are great questions for somebody to ask themselves.
And like I said, I'm not judging the people that do. I'm not judging none of that. But I think it's something to look at. And I really like what you were saying about the connection. Like, we have entirely lost connection. Like, it's crazy. Like, even in my workplace, connection doesn't exist. We send emails for instruction. We don't connect with the person. We don't know who we're talking to. We're not meeting them where they're at. And it's just a complete disaster. So yes,
Yep.
Connection, to speak to that, needs to come back. I don't know how we bring it back with all this access to something else that's more stimulating, but we got to do it. We got to do it as a group.
Yeah.
Group of
Yeah, and I mean,
humans.
you're right on there, right? It's like our culture is like, we're allergic to authentic connection.
Yes.
And many people don't even know how to create it, right?
Right.
We get so lost in work or in pleasure or, and things that numb us, and it's sad. It's disheartening to see that.
Right.
Like,
even my boss, my big boss told me, Mary, you manage, because I'm a manager, you manage like a mother. Right. Because these people are living real lives and trying to come to this hellhole. I work in a hospital, and, and they see death every time they turn around. So yeah, I try to manage like someone that cares. So if it looks like a mother to you, then call it what it is. I don't care.
you're like, that's the point. That's what I'm trying to do.
Exactly. But they don't want that. They want me to stay as distant from them as possible.
Profits over people. Profits over people.
So it's sad. And, and I mean, I took it as a compliment when he said you manage as a mother, but I didn't even know he wasn't complimenting me.
Yeah. Yeah.
But well, I just was interested.
Yeah. I think our country in particular is in for a reckoning with a lot of things.
Yes. I agree.
But we've just lost ourselves in who we are.
Right. I agree 100%. And that's yeah, that's it.
Yeah. I can't wait till politicians start taking a stand on porn. Who's going to be the first to do it? Right? Because I'm serious. And I actually did it ain't going to be what?
It's not going to be the red side.
I actually did a poll.
Not this time.
I did a poll once on here, and I said, which party do you think would be the first one to take a stand against porn? And the results were fascinating. But
it was
it's like
50-50.
No, it was skewed. It was way in the other direction. Oh man. Don't be political, Austin.
No, it's hard not to be, because at the end of the day, that's running this.
Well, because it's like people won't take a stand for it because they're all deep in it. If you got rid of porn, you get rid of everybody in Washington. Like,
exactly.
If you said who watches porn and who's currently having an affair, you got no one left.
It's over. Right. We don't have anything. We don't have a House. We don't have a Congress. Mm-hmm. We don't have a president.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Right. I mean, but hopefully we're weaning as we grow, as we're growing, hopefully we're weaning that out.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not talking about porn, but weaning out those thoughts.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's a whole other conversation. Like, lust will never go away. The temptation to lust, like, that's part of, I should say.
Yeah.
My goal is not to get people to stop watching porn. It's to get them to start doing something different, to start living into a more fulfilling life where you're not numbing out by using lust and fantasy.
Right. Like when you were talking about men, like a man in a relationship talking about another pretty girl. My brother is super outlandish with what, when he sees somebody, he just can't control himself. He's just like, oh my God, she's so beautiful. But honest to God, he's completely faithful to his wife. Mm-hmm. But he's just like, God damn, did you see her? And he's just loud like that. And I was when you were saying that, and the woman you were talking to wasn't catching on that was not okay. I mean, that could be okay, but she was saying that it wasn't really okay because you shouldn't be looking. But looking is not always lusting, and even talking and complimenting is not lusting.
Yep.
There are beautiful people out there that, clearly they're trying to get recognized for their beauty because they show it.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not saying
play the flip side of that. Women do this to men all the time.
What?
All the time. Lust after and objectify men.
Well, isn't that what they're for?
See, you just did it yourself.
I'm just
guilty
kidding.
as charged.
Yeah, I'm just kidding. They're great. They're people. They're humans, just like you and me. And that's how I look at it. Beautiful people, either way, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And beautiful is like in the eyes of the beholder, like you said, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
All
it
right.
includes
Thanks
it. You can include it.
Mary,
Yeah.
we'll see you again in a few minutes, okay?
I'm not gonna.
All right.
Okay,
All right.
good night.
Bye-bye. I don't think I've ever had... That's a new record for same guest on multiple times in the same night. Way to go, Mary. Give you a clap for that. By the way, I'm a coach. I do one-on-one coaching as well as group coaching, both for men dealing with porn or sex addiction and women dealing with betrayal trauma. Go to link in my bio if you're interested in that. Hello, Rachie. How's it going?
Hi, good. How are you?
I'm doing good, thanks. What's up?
So I wanted to come on here and say that a lot of people think, well, I do watch porn, but I haven't cheated on my partner. And I think there's so many different forms of cheating and so many different levels that it's difficult for people to kind of separate those.
Okay. Tell me more.
Just like, I mean, from my own personal experience situation, it's something my ex said is like, well, yes, I did all this, but I never cheated on you. And I mean, that never made me feel better, because it's like, how did you not cheat on me while you were watching, naked women and doing all this other stuff? Like, it is cheating. It's just a lot of people don't know where that line is, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Where do you think the line is?
I think cheating is anything that you wouldn't want your partner to know about regarding anybody outside of the relationship.
Anything you wouldn't want your partner to know about regarding somebody else outside the relationship.
Right, like whether that's watching porn or stuff you're talking about with someone else, like that you wouldn't want your partner to know about.
Yeah.
I mean, there's all different kinds of levels.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, go ahead.
No, I like that. I like that, the way you frame that. Okay. Yeah. What else? I like that.
Yeah, I mean, I just thought of that earlier, and wanted to share because some people might think the same. Like, what? I never cheated physically, but I do watch porn. So, but yeah, I don't know. I had some other stuff in mind, but I don't want to waste time trying to remember.
No, that's fine. No, thank you. I appreciate that. Are you the one that said in the comments you want your boyfriend or something to be on here?
Yeah, we still talk and, keep in contact, but yeah, he is my ex and I wanted to get him on. He said we actually watched the live that I was on last on YouTube. We watched it together, so he got to hear what I said and what you said, and he said he is willing to come on here. Sorry?
I've had you on before?
Yeah, I think it was the night before last or something.
Okay, got it. Oh, cool. Yeah. By the way, everybody should follow me on YouTube if you don't already. PXRN.
Yes.
Appreciate that. You can watch all these live replays.
Yeah, it was cool going back and seeing it, and I wasn't reading the comments at first, so I got to go through that too, but...
Yeah, it's cool to be able to play it back.
Right.
Yeah. All right. Well, thanks for sharing.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
All right, bye-bye. Natalie, I'm going to bring you on because you're a subscriber. I don't have a way of knowing that in here, but one of my mods told me that. Thank you for subscribing. I can hear you.
Okay. I just found your channel. I always come across your channel, but I've always wanted to talk to you about an issue that I was having with my partner. I mean, we had talked about his porn addiction before, and we just had a kid, And in the beginning of the relationship, like, not to be explicit, but the sex was great. But then all of a sudden, one night I went through his phone and I found that every time I would come over, he would have watched porn before we did it. And then, obviously I came out to him. I was like, I'm not okay with this. And then he kind of flipped it on me and he's like, this is not my problem. This is your problem. And basically he said I was insecure about feeling that way. And I kind of pushed it aside, but because I love him. He's a great man. He works really hard. It was just that tiny problem. And now that we have a kid, we really don't have time to do it. Even though he's always trying to do it, trying to initiate it. But with kids, it's kind of hard to be intimate with each other because they always need you, and I could tell when he's doing it because he's in the bathroom for like 2 hours or longer. But I just wanted, and I don't know how to get him the help he needs because I know his family has a history of addiction and he's addicted to many other things like smoking that I've tried to get him to stop. And you said that you offer help for couples. I was just wondering if there's a way I could try to convince him to come to a coaching session, or is there no way of convincing him?
I've never met him. I don't know.
Well, yeah, obviously.
Yeah. First of all, okay, so I haven't started talking about this yet, but we're doing an intimacy workshop, building intimacy workshop. I should have the registration page up for that. It would really be helpful, Austin, to, when you talk about this, have a registration page up. Saturday, September 14th at 10 a.m. We're doing an intimacy workshop. $99 for the couple, and it's a great place to come and talk about these things. So it's not a sexual intimacy workshop, though you can have that be what you talk about. But, the theme of it, in some sense, is people who have been affected by betrayal. How do you rebuild trust? How do you rebuild intimacy? And so we have that coming up in a couple weeks. If you follow me, I'll do a video about it or something here soon. But the question is, how do you get them to come to the table to make a better relationship, right? To make your relationship better, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, what have you tried up until this point?
Oh, I've had sit down conversations with him, face to face, and I'm at the point where we're only having sex maybe once every 2 weeks. And we're always trying. He's always trying to initiate, but it's just the wrong time. The kids are awake. I'm making breakfast. He's about to go to work. But I don't know if it's hard because I have two. This is my second relationship with a guy. And I have a kid with another guy who also had a porn addiction. So it's very hard to deal with. I agree. So I would say, porn is cheating. Yeah. Definitely.
Yeah, it's very hard to deal with. And you're in a season of life where it is very hard to have any meaningful alone time with your partner.
Yeah.
Right. So how old are your kids?
I have a 3-year-old and a 4-month-old.
Okay. The solution here is not figuring out how to have more sex, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Okay. What is your body telling you is needed right now as a priority?
Attention, love. I mean, I've asked him before, if we did it all the time, would you stop? And he's told me he doesn't think so. He doesn't think he could stop.
Okay.
And when we were just girlfriend and boyfriend, when we lived away from each other, and I would go through his phone because, you know, every time I would go over, one thing led to another and we would have sex. But after I found out he was watching porn, it kind of made me feel like a second object to him. And it just never stopped.
Yeah.
So.
Go ahead. What else?
But let me see. Right now, I wouldn't say he would cheat on me. I definitely don't want to come to that conclusion yet, because every time now it's gotten to the point where if I looked through his phone, he would change his password. And then, you know, I would have a sit-down conversation. Why did you change your password? Just because I looked through your phone? And then he'd be like, it's because of privacy reasons. And he said, he is aware of my feelings when it comes to watching porn, but that it's something he can't change. But, you know, as a mom, and with a fresh newborn, it's hard for me to get up and leave the table because I want this relationship to work, especially since it's my second relationship with him.
Yeah.
So.
Do you trust him?
You know, if the right girl came to him, a pretty girl with like a nice ass and tits, maybe he would take his chances with her. But let me try to rephrase this. Where he's in his life right now, I don't think he would try anything.
Okay. So you don't trust him?
No, not really. That's a bad thing to say, but yeah.
Well, why is that bad, if it's true?
Well, I do feel like in relationships there should be amount of trust, but because, you know, it's hard to leave your partner, especially when you love them.
Well, especially with a 4-month-old and another kid.
Yeah. Trying to make it work is hard.
Yeah, totally. All right, so does he want to change his behavior?
I don't think so.
Okay. Have you first of all, it's got to be such a painful situation for you to be in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
My son's actually, I just put him to bed right now. Yeah. I live in California. It's like 11:54.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. So, what's the conversation you think you're needing to have with him?
I've had all the conversations with him before. It's about everything because, like, I've even, I've said, well, okay, one time I was talking to him about his phone password because he locked it because he caught me going through his phone. And I told him, well, why lock your phone if you're not trying to hide anything? And he would always say, oh, it's because I'm buying you something or I'm planning you something. But I know because of our financial situation, there's no room for going on a trip right now or buying anything too expensive. And he said, and so we looked through his phone together. And he went through my phone first for some reason. He went through my phone and found nothing because I'm barely even on my phone. I mean, I'm only on TikTok scrolling. But I went through his phone and I found on Facebook that there's this website called Liked Posts, and I went through that, and it was just a bunch of nude women or ladies in lingerie, and I asked him about that and I went through like how many times he would look at that, because you have to look it up to be able to watch it. So, and he was doing it frequently. And I would recount like.
Okay.
I would recount like, yeah. It was
just notice, Natalia, I asked a question about like, what do you wanted to talk to him about?
Oh.
And no, which is fine. I just want you to notice that you're living out a lot of the frustrations you have with him, which is totally valid, by the way. But there's probably like something that you're really wanting to get clarity on with him. That's hard for you to really touch that and then create something with him on that, like a new conversation. Right?
Yeah.
What do you want it to be different in your relationship?
I think I want our intimacy to be better. Or I want him to at least acknowledge what he's doing and seek help.
Okay.
Because I know it's a problem for him.
Yeah. Yeah. So you want him to acknowledge that it's a problem and to get help for the sake of your relationship.
Yes.
Yeah. Which he may or may not ever do. He might, but he might not. Okay. And early on you indicated something like this is a small little problem in your relationship. You remember that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's a pretty big foundational crack. Right? Because you don't trust him. Intimacy isn't there. Right? You're in a season of life where, like, not that sex is the answer, but you got mouths to feed and you're trying to keep people alive.
Yeah.
Right?
But I know you said yourself that you struggled with porn. What was your kind of like, I just wanted to know, what's your kind of like, what was your aspiration to really stop? Was it to work on yourself or on your relationship?
Well, that's a good question. I think, and some might think it's selfish, I don't think it is doing it for your partner, wanting to clean up for your partner it's not a bad reason, but I think that a better reason is I want to become the best man I can be, the best husband, the best father I can be. And in order to do that, I have to become the best version of myself so that I can be there for other people. Right? And so, you probably don't just want a guy who doesn't watch porn. That's actually a pretty lame vision of a man. Is, this guy doesn't watch porn. It's like, who cares? What does he do?
Yeah.
Right? And so you can see it, that the porn is affecting him and you. He doesn't see it yet.
No, yeah. I mean, when back in high school, I was totally okay with my guys watching porn because, I wasn't available. I had homework. I was busy doing something else. It wasn't really something that bothered me. But until I was serious in my relationship where I wanted to make it work and where I wanted physical intimacy all the time. So, I do believe that porn, as you say, really does affect a guy in a way that it's like we don't even cuddle anymore after sex. He just gets up and goes use the bathroom and I have to get dressed and go on with my day.
Yeah. Yeah, so, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink. So the
Yeah.
question for you is like, if you're wanting to fight for this relationship, which it sounds like you do,
Mhm.
then, I tell this all the time, like early on in my marriage, my wife and I were like, we have so many problems, we should get help. And we never
Mhm.
did. Like it had nothing to do with porn at that point. It was just like we didn't, like nothing worked, but we never sought out the help. And so, maybe don't even make it about porn. Just be like, hey, something here isn't working in our relationship. Like, let's get some help with this.
Okay. I'll try that. That's a good.
Yeah, it's
I'll
just
bring
hey,
that.
let's see a married. Are you guys married?
No, we're not.
Okay, like let's see a couples counselor, because we got babies. We got to figure this out. I'm wanting more out of this, and it if you posture it as there's something wrong with you need help, that's not going to get someone to come to the table. But if you say, hey, I'm wanting more, I think there's more available for us, would you agree? Like, there's some ways I'm contributing in this, there's some ways you're contributing, let's come to the table and figure out how we can have a better relationship. That's way more inviting than, hey, you need to stop watching porn, go get help.
I agree.
Yeah. So,
Okay.
maybe that approach will get them to see, oh gosh, maybe there is a solution because there's more available.
Yeah.
Do you think you can do that?
I'll bring that up to him next time, because right now we're both nurses and I'm just on maternity leave. So being a stay-at-home mom right now has been got me really in my head. So, but thank you so much for your advice.
Yeah. Thanks for sharing. Sorry you're going through that. It's tough.
No. Yeah, definitely.
All right.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Yeah, thank you.
All right. It's midnight. I'm going to start winding it down.